Thank you, Catherine. It's a pleasure to be here. It's my third annual public meeting, so it gets better every time. My speech gets better every time, too. I don't know if you know this, but BCSA is a self-funded and independent organization. So we receive no funding from government to do our work that impacts safety in a growing British Columbia. And we're a small entity, less than 400 employees, covering an area of over 1 million square kilometers. Through permits, licenses, certificates of qualification, we directly impact industries that make up 64% of the province's GDP. BCSA has a responsibility in 7 areas of technical safety oversight, and we're mandated to serve all 4.7 million British Columbians. Now, as VP of Client Experience, I really hope they don't all call at the same time. Since our revenues are tied to British Columbia's economic conditions, we are mindful that our income can fluctuate. In stronger economic times, such as what we've experienced lately, we build our reserves so that we can continue to deliver our services and education without compromise, even in slower economic times. At BCSA, being financially sustainable is both an organizational goal and a responsibility, and part of our cultural value of accountability that Catherine spoke of earlier. So last year, we benefited from a robust economy and housing starts, which increased our permit volumes and our average permit value. So we issued 6.5% more installation permits compared to 2015. This was driven by gas and electrical technologies predominantly, and underpinned by the strength in the residential construction sector. The average permit value also increased by $10 due to some larger projects that were conducted during the year. So it's not surprising that the combination of those two factors led to an increase in our revenue of 10% over 2015. So now, given the higher than expected revenues in 2016, we invested back into the safety system. So we added additional safety officers. We conducted education events, many free of charge to our clients and stakeholders. We conducted research, face-to-face research, user experience research, and also surveys. We provided support and training for our employees to improve the collection of data in the field, and also the systems to analyze and share that data with our clients and with our stakeholders. We made improvements in client service, including a new online services for asset owners, field service representatives, and other clients. And there's a lot more to come, as Catherine mentioned, in 2017. We also took the strength in revenues into consideration when we set our fees for 2017. So let's take a closer look at revenues and the components. So our total revenue for the year, last year, was $56 million. And as you can see, installation permits is the largest component of that revenue. Operating permits is the next closest, and then it goes down from there. As I mentioned, the installation permits were primarily driven, the growth was driven by gas and electrical technologies. If we look geographically, we saw growth throughout the province in all areas, with a lot of growth in the Lower Mainland South and also Vancouver Island. So if you look at the by technology slide here, the largest source of revenue was electrical. And this has remained constant. This is consistent with previous years, so at 40%. 3 technologies were around 20% each: gas, boilers, and elevating devices, and the rest being made up by passenger ropeways, amusement devices, rail, and alternative safety approaches. So I just want to talk a little more about some of the investments we made. And in 2016, we moved forward on strategic infrastructure that supported our clients and employees. And so specifically, we were able to refresh a portion of our fleet and provide trucks in our northern and more wintry climates so that our safety officers get around safely. We also added hybrid electric vehicles, which is part of our commitment to environmental sustainability. We're also continuing to invest in our IT systems to improve speed and efficiency for clients and employees, and also to link and share data with organizations, such as a partnership we recently arranged with BC Hydro. So this is an exciting area to watch, in 2017 and the years to come. On operating expenses now. So our operating expenses were $54 million, and we are a service organization, so salaries and benefits make up the largest portion of our expenses. And at 67%, this is very consistent with previous years, so that hasn't changed. Within the salaries, we were able to, as mentioned before, add safety officers, compliance and enforcement officers, and also IT professionals to help us with our online services. We also did this to support the higher volume of business that we experienced and to meet our strategic goals. So our bottom line, our excess of revenues over expenditures was $2.9 million for the year, which is $1 million higher than the previous year. And our operating reserve, which we use in times when things aren't as good, grew from $8.8 million to $9.7 million, putting us in firm foundation to weather economic fluctuations. So looking ahead, we will invest and continue to invest in key projects to enhance the client experience. So we're asking ourselves, how can we deliver consistent and helpful service regardless of how you interact or where you interact with us? And in the field, we'll support our safety officers who will continue to hold certified individuals accountable for safety and who are an important part of the safety system. We will continue to level the playing field and increasingly use analytics to seek out more unpermitted work and equipment, and in the process, changing behaviors and strengthening the application of our safety mandate. So this brings me to the end of the financial presentation. I hope this overview provided you with a better understanding of our picture, our financial picture, and I also hope that we can engage further about how can we leverage smart investments in IT, in human resources, in partnerships to advance technical safety. I encourage you to grab a copy of our annual report at the entrance there and look at some other facts and figures as well as our management discussion and analysis. If you have questions, happy to answer it during the Q&A or afterwards. So now I have the pleasure of introducing a video from our safety system operations team. And this will showcase a slice of what we do and what we found in 2016. Thank you.